Doc Bruce Banner, belted by Gamma Rays, turned into the Hulk.
Ain't he on Glamour Rays?
Wrecking the town with the power of a bull.
Ain't no monster clown who is that lovable
As ever-loving Hulk.
Hey guys, it's Chris, Vancouver Comic Junkie here. I haven't done a video in a bit. I've just been really busy working on a lot of shows right now. It's been a good time to be in the film industry. I'm pretty happy. But I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited to be talking comics because I haven't had a lot of chances to do that. I'm a little hungover. I went out last night with some friends and it went a little late. And so I'm not at my peak ability at the moment. But the comics will help, I'm hoping. But I do want to mention, I did pick up the new Overstreet comic book price guide. This is interesting. Obviously, that's a cool cover by McFarlane, Spidey and Spawn on the same cover. I don't think that's ever been done before. I think it's like a thing, but I think that's cool. I'll always love McFarlane. He's kind of the Kirby of the 80s for me, which is pretty great. But saying that, a lot of people wonder why you should buy this book. I recommend owning this. I recommend reading it. I recommend it being a resource. It's really easy to flip through this and have it by your side when you're looking for information about a book. I would not follow the guidelines of the pricing. It's a yearly thing, so they can't really keep up with pricing at all. And they've always been a little off on common issues and things like that. Books that go for $5 on eBay, they've got in here for 50, and vice versa. You know, $5 in here and they're going for 50. They just can't keep up for it. And so with that in mind, but you can go in here and you're like, say I want to look up X-Men, and you can find out all the key issues. They're all right in front of you. You're not typing away on a computer looking for everything. It's just all right here, and you can kind of do a little bit of research. And it's pretty neat too with the older books. They'll mention like, this book's really scarce and there's only 25 copies left of this in the world, and that stuff's kind of fun. I'm sure with the internet opening up the world in the last 25 years, a lot of that information might be a little wrong, but it's still fun. And there's this great market reports from a lot of different comic dealers, that kind of thing. I highly recommend it. I would just recommend it. It's a good thing. But what we're here to talk about today on this video is I've been picking up some books lately, X-Men books. These are books I wouldn't regularly go after. As you guys know, I'm more of a bronze, silver guy. In the Marvel world. I also could like a little bit of copper in there, a little bit, but I've been picking up some modern stuff. And the reason is you guys might have noticed recently, Nick Fury has a new show. And they are not saying what it is, but it's looking more and more like it's the Agents of S.W.O.R.D, which is pretty cool. It would be like a space-based shield. And if you've read the comics, blah, 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 it's pretty cool. It could be a big component of the Marvel universe. And they're building this space station, or they built this space station, which is kind of like the Marvel clubhouse. It could very, very well play into it. And there's some really neat characters within that world. So I'm going to pull out some key books for that. So with that, I've been grabbing some of these. It's Astonishing X-Men issue 6. It's the first appearance of S.W.O.R.D. That's where they're mentioned, and Abigail Brand, technically her first full appearance. Very cool cover. I love this cover. Joss Whedon wrote it. The guy who made Avengers 1 and 2. So they got a little bit of pedigree there. But I've been grabbing these for a little while now, and I got a few. You know, I got maybe 9 here, and a few others at pressing right now. I've just been grabbing them. I've been getting them for like $5-10 each. Mostly 5. Not all of them are perfect, but I think out of this stack here, I'll probably be able to find a couple 9/8s out of it, for sure. Definitely some 9/6s. But when you're buying them when you're getting in at like $5 on these books to $10, you're doing well. I've also picked up a couple CGC copies too in recent times, and as you can see, both 9/8s. One's an older slab, and one's a newer one. This slab has like milkiness on it and stuff. It's you know how slabs do that. I've never liked this design of the slab. It just feels like the first CBCS slabs. They're just not really strong. But man, I love these new slabs by CGC. They're just strong and they look better. They're just great. But saying that, this is a great book. I highly recommend it. It's starting to tick up. These 9/8s we're able to get for well under $100 and in 9/8, and now I think they're floating around 160, 170. From what I did a little bit of research before this video, that's pretty good. And they haven't even announced the show, so like fully with the name and everything. I do think that Abigail Brand potentially could be a big freaking deal within the Marvel universe. Cast correctly, she could be the next Nick Fury. These all point towards a really, really great book to pick up right now. And I will definitely be keeping this one. And the rest will slowly, as time goes, will become trade fodder. Like I'll be able to trade with them and sell them to get other books. As you guys know, that's how I like to collect. And hopefully pick up like a really, really nice Silver Age or Bronze Age key out of it. But saying that, I'm more than happy to have a 9/8 right now, this and forevermore. I hope this book becomes a center stone of the Marvel universe. So saying that, I'm going to move on to the next book, which is related to this, actually. And my chair is squeaky. So the next one, this one is, I wouldn't recommend it as much, but it's Astonishing X-Men 3. It's technically the first cameo of Abigail Brand. And I've got a couple. They're cheaper. I think for how cheap they are, $5. I mean, they're still quite cheap when I see them in stores and stuff. And then I also picked up 2 CGC copies over the time. This book's even getting up there. It's starting to pop up. I saw a sales of 150 recently of this book, and I think a 160 as well. So it's in the ballpark of the last book. I will say, I think it's a key. I think it will be a key. Abigail Brand, if and when she does enter the MCU, and I'm pretty positive she's going to be, cast right is going to be a big deal. I think this will still be a worthy book to own, but I think the big money would be probably sitting in the issue 6. That's just a theory I have. So, saying that, if you see them for a deal, grab them. That's what you should do. That's my thing. Another one that I think is going to play out pretty well is Secret War Book 2. This is the first appearance of a character named Quake. Quake was on Agents of S.W.O.R.D. Very popular. She is someone who could very easily step right into S.W.O.R.D. And I'm pretty sure she will. Just out of her popularity, why would they leave her on the bench? These are, in raw, you can still get them for reasonable prices, under $20 if you go looking. It's not a peak book. I don't have a CGC copy, but I got a couple raws. And I'll pick them up if I find them cheap. I will not be going and dropping $150 on a 9/8 copy or whatever it goes for. I think it goes for $110. I'm going to see how that goes. I'm a little bit more hesitant about this one. But, again, $5 to $10, $15. Then we're talking Canadian money, so that's like $3 in American money. I'm just kidding, but it's close. I think that it's a good bet, and why not? Let's see what happens. And it's a weird book too. I just found out you can't really press this book, so if you get a copy, you better make sure it's in really good shape because they printed it on really heavy cardstock, and so if it has any dings in it, they're just not going to come out of the press. Unless you press it like 400 times or something. I don't even know if that's a possibility. I've been lucky that these 2 copies are really nice. But, they are black covers, so be careful with it. It's a tough one. Okay, so, still in the X-Men world. This is a book I pick up whenever I see it. This is I think it's the most underrated and undervalued Copper Age X-Men key. Some would even debate if it's even a key, but it's the first appearance of a character named Forge. I think Forge is a very cool character. I would recommend that when you see these, and you can still find them in really good shape, you pick them up. I've been still dragging these out of back issue bins for about $8. Sometimes even less. Generally, they're in pretty good shape, but make sure they're pristine, and you can find them. People aren't looking for this book, and I don't know why. I mean, everyone's grabbing every minor key. All the X-Men keys are blown up except for this one. So, you know, I probably have a little stack of 10 of these over time, and Greg Gura, a buddy of mine, is doing the same thing with this book. I don't know why we're doing it, but we're just doing it. Well, I do know why. I think he's an underrated character, and I think if he even steps foot near the MCU, this book's going to blow up. And when you're dropping $5 to get one, you know, all it takes is, after that blows up, a 9.8 can pay for all that plus more, and then you have a bunch more left over. So I also just love this era of X-Men books. So I look forward to getting a 9.8 on one of these for my own personal collection because I like, as I've always said, I like to have one good copy and then the rest I can ride the investment lightning. And but yeah, I really look forward to getting a 9.8 on one of these. But I do have more of these. I just don't have them with me. Here's another one. I picked this up recently. First appearance of Havok, X-Men 58. Highly recommend this book. This book is actually not cheap. This is a lower grade copy. I think this would probably float in the 5.0 range to 4.5. Maybe higher, maybe a little less. It's in mid grade. Ooh, listen to my cat. Shh. You hear that? Oh, poor thing. She's just wandering around talking. That's what they do. But anyway, this is the first person to Havok. He's a major character in the X-Men universe, and I really, really recommend him. So, pick one up if you can find them. They do not come cheap, ever. I don't know why. It's just a very popular book. But here's a book that I've probably recommended a number of times, and I'm going to continue to recommend it. It's the first appearance of Sunfire. It's X-Men 64. It's a great book. I couldn't recommend this book enough. These are starting to explode. I'm probably doing this video too late for you guys. I've recommended it in the past as a book to pick up, and I've watched the price literally double. I picked up an 8.5 CGC 8.5 copy about how long ago? 6 months ago. This copy right here, in fact, this 8.5 right here. I picked this up for $160 US at the beginning of the year, and I just saw a 7.5 sell for $280 US. So that tells you where it's going. I also picked up a couple more. I also got a 9.0 white pages a few months ago, and I'm very happy to own that because I've watched this book go crazy. I think one sold for $425 recently, which is insane to me. But they've been floating around like $350 and up. And this was a book 6 months ago that was under $200. That's a big gain, and it seems to be only going up. Everyone I talk to is looking for a copy. Everyone needs this copy. It's the first appearance of Sunfire. Rumor is in the world is that Sunfire is going to be entering as part of the X-Men team. I guess all the statistics make sense with diversity and things like that. He's an Asian superhero within a team that doesn't really have a lot of that in it. So it's a good character. And if you spend a little time reading about him, he's actually pretty cool. I think his costume is pretty lame. It's not a cool costume. But, with the way they retrofit new things, I think there's a really big chance of it becoming big. But the big gain here for me was I ended up getting a 9.4. It's a CBCS. I'm going to crack this soon and send it into CGC for a CGC case. I just don't like this is an old CGC container, too. You could tell it's like one of the first. And it's been kept in good shape and everything like that. But it's just... It's squeaky and it's just old, and I just don't like CBCS containers. The slabs just don't work for me. So I'm going to try and get the same grade in CGC. We'll see how that goes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. If I stay price wise, I paid a very decent price for this. If I can get a 9.2, I'll be very happy. I paid a 9.0 price actually, but a 9.0 price of today. But it's a 9.4, and it's a really nice copy. When you look at it, it's gorgeous. So I have, I have these 5 copies, plus I have a couple of pressing too. I have been picking this book up for a while. Whenever I see good copies for cheap, and I've been very fortunate to be able to grab them before people really grabbed onto them. And if you look at my IG at Vancouver Comic Junkie on Instagram, you'll see that I've been picking these up for a while. It's just how I play this game, and I'm hoping the 9.4 will stay with me forever. It'll be in my collection forever. I always like to keep the best book, like I always say, and then the rest will become trade bait for I really want to get an X-Men 14 in over 9.0. Wow, you hear that? Something's going on. And so I can use those to get that stuff. So eventually, when I get them all back from CGC, I'll be able to do that. So anyway, those are the books I'm recommending today. The books I'm kind of going after right now. But saying that, I'm not going after any of these books anymore because they're all starting to tick up a bit more. I think I've done my time with these books. If I do find deals, and there are deals out there for every single one of them, do keep your eyes open for all these books, especially the 64, the X-Men 64. I think one of the great reasons I think there's still a lot of legs on it simply is because if you look at Havok, First Appearance of Havok, that book goes for stupid money. And it's in the same era. Probably the same qualities of books are out there. But this one's been forgotten. It's just been forgotten. And it's only in recent years where people are paying any attention to it. This was a common book 2 years ago. But now it is not. Now it goes for it's starting to get into dumb money. And I like that. It just has a lot of growth behind it. And, and if the rumors are true, which it doesn't even matter if they're true or not, but if they are true, it could be a stellar book. But anyway, that's my video. I hope you can like and subscribe. That would be wonderful. It would really be helpful. And if you can go to Instagram at Vancouver Comic Junkie and hit me up. Any questions, anything, I'm always there. I'm always available. And I will talk to you soon. I got to go talk to my cat right now because she seems to have something going on. But you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
See you later.